For decades, Bill and Melinda Gates were seen as one of the most powerful couples in the world. Together, they built a tech empire, then turned their wealth into one of the largest philanthropic organizations in history. To the public, their marriage looked steady, strategic, and unbreakable. Until it wasn't. When Bill and Melinda Gates announced their divorce in 2021, the statement was calm and carefully worded. They spoke of no longer believing they could grow together as a couple, and emphasized their continued work through the Gates Foundation. But behind that polished announcement, questions quickly emerged. What really happened inside one of the most influential marriages of our time? Not long after the divorce became public, reports began resurfacing about Bill Gates' past relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. This was not a news story, but it was suddenly being viewed through a different lens. According to multiple reports, Bill Gates met with Epstein several times after Epstein had already been convicted of sex offenses. Gates later acknowledged those meetings and said he regretted them, calling the relationship a mistake. However, what caught public attention was not just the meetings themselves, but what Melinda Gates later revealed. In interviews, Melinda confirmed that Bill's connection to Epstein deeply disturbed her. She described it as something that caused significant pain and discomfort within the marriage. At one point, she said Epstein was evil personified. That single phrase changed how many people viewed the Gates divorce.
Sources close to the situation have reported that Melinda Gates began distancing herself emotionally well before the official split. She stepped away from certain foundation activities and sought private counsel. By the time the divorce was announced, it appeared the decision had already been years in the making. What makes this story especially compelling is that the Gates marriage was never portrayed as romantic in the traditional sense. It was often described as a partnership, built on shared goals, discipline, and long-term vision. But partnerships like marriages rely on trust, and for Melinda Gates, that trust had reportedly been fractured. The divorce itself was one of the most expensive in modern history. Bill and Melinda quietly divided assets worth tens of billions of dollars without a public courtroom battle. Melinda received significant holdings, including shares in major companies and real estate. Yet even after the financial settlement, the emotional aftermath continued to unfold in public view. Melinda later stepped away entirely from the Gates Foundation, choosing to focus on her own philanthropic work centered on women and girls. That move was widely seen as symbolic, a clear break not just from the marriage, but from the shared identity they once represented. Meanwhile, Bill Gates continued to face renewed scrutiny. Each new interview, each resurfaced email, each retrospective article added fuel to the conversation. Why would one of the world's most powerful men risk everything by associating with someone as controversial as Epstein? Gates has consistently denied any wrongdoing and maintains that the meetings were related to philanthropy. No evidence has ever emerged linking him to Epstein's crimes, but in the court of public opinion, perception often matters as much as facts. And perception, once damaged, is difficult to repair. What makes this divorce resonate so deeply is not just the people involved, but what they represent. This is a story about power, influence, and accountability. It raises uncomfortable questions about how elite figures operate behind closed doors, about how much is truly known versus carefully managed, and about how even the most carefully constructed public image can unravel. Today, Bill Gates and Melinda French Gates continue their lives separately. They remain connected by history, by shared achievements, and by 3 children, but no longer by marriage. Their divorce was quiet, controlled, and legally smooth. But emotionally, it revealed fractures that had been hidden for years. And in many ways, that silence speaks louder than any scandal ever could.